What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video, and I'm joined by downtown Stephen Brown. What's going on?
It's been a really long day, Andrew, just from a work standpoint, from a free agent standpoint, just everything. I
Yeah,
mean, a lot of stuff happened today, and we're going to try our best to talk about it.
yeah. So in this video, we're going to be talking about all the things the Toronto Maple Leafs did today. This is going to be, I think, upload number 12 for me in less than 24 hours. So I am absolutely beat. I am very tired. So hopefully you guys seen all the videos, and if not, that's totally fine. I was just talking to a camera and trying not to pass out. Anyways, the Leafs did a lot today. The Leafs sometimes aren't very active on days like this, so it's very fun that they actually did some things. So I guess we can start off with the minor moves that the Leafs made, and I guess some people would say minor, some people would say big, depending on you value these certain players. But I guess we can first just give a quick shout out to some of the players that left in free agency, guys like Tyler Ennis, who went to Ottawa. Ron Hainsey also went to Ottawa. And then we obviously heard a couple days ago about today it was finalized, but we already knew that the trade was going to be Zaitsev and Connor Brown, all of those guys going to Ottawa. So I'm going to miss all of them for, everything they did for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I've met all four of them, and they're all really nice people. And, Connor Brown was super nice with my grandma. He's very, very welcoming person. Nikita Zaitsev spilled Gatorade on my buddy Phil, which was hilarious. Tyler Ennis was a great guy. We welcomed him to Toronto, and he was really pumped about that. Ron Hainsey was very cool with everybody taking photos. So, what do you want to say a couple things about those guys as well?
No, I don't want to say a couple things about any of those guys. I'm just going to say that your feelings, Andrew, that was very touching, and it was very nice of you to share the Gatorade story and the story about your grandmother in there. I'm sure your grandmother's a very sweet little old lady. But today, nobody's feelings matter. And I think that was
Oh my
evident
God.
by nobody's feelings.
Cold-blooded.
Nobody's feelings matter today, okay? The organizational overturn, the trades, the signings, none of it doesn't matter. I'm not saying that any of the moves that they made were bad or anything like that. I'm just saying that the feelings element to it holds no weight today, Andrew. It's just we're swinging for the fences here. We need to, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I would agree too. I'm just saying I had to get it out there as well, and I tweeted about some stuff, and we're obviously going to get to the big move later on because emotionally the big move messed me up a little bit, but I'm very happy about it. Anyways, let's talk about some signings. Nick Shore, that was a very minor one. We don't have too much to say about that. I don't even know if a dollar amount's been finalized for Nick Shore.
Cap Friendly has it as an undisclosed contract. It's not finalized yet or anything like that. Just the depth center option.
So it's going to be very minor.
Depth.
Who was the defenseman? Gravel or Gravel?
Kevin Gravel, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. I don't really care about your feelings and how that's pronounced right now. He's the Leafs' 8th, 9th, 10th defenseman or something like that. Cool. Depth signing.
Very minor. Jason Spezza, kind of a cool little ad there. He took a pretty healthy contract for the Leafs, $700,000. That's not bad for your new fourth line centerman.
$700K 1-year deal. I mean, Freddie the Goat, or Freddie the Goat. I mean, the writing was really on the wall. He doesn't really offer too much once the play actually gets going. He wins faceoffs, but Jason Spezza was like top 5 in the league last year with 58.2%, and I'm sure he'll be a little bit better. He's coming off 26 and 27 point seasons. Just a great little hometown boy coming home.
Yeah, that's a great move. I actually really like the Spezza move, especially because it was so cheap. The Leafs have a lot of cheaper forwards that are going to be filling out the bottom of their roster, and good players, not just, they're not just cheap guys that can't play the game. They're very good. Bringing in Mikheyev, of course, earlier, and we still have guys like Moore, and we've been over this before. They've made a lot of solid additions, and I don't believe that there was any other real minor signings for the Toronto Maple Leafs today. I don't know if you remember anything. I don't think that there has been.
There was Kenny Agostino, but he's just going to be a depth winger.
Right.
I mean, it's always nice to have depth There's just Kenny Agostino. There's Nick Patan. There's a bunch of those guys that we have that are going to fill in on the third and fourth lines when there's injuries. There, a lot of those guys are interchangeable and stuff like that. Just always good to have a competent NHL plug when somebody gets injured, right? You don't want to have to call someone up from the AHL that's not ready and that doesn't have experience or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess we can get right to the big move of the day. It's was a pretty hefty
Which
trade.
one do you want to pick, Andrew?
Uh, I mean, holy. Are we gonna go in depth with the Ottawa trade?
I wouldn't go too much in depth to it. I mean, let's just kind of talk about Cody Ceci because that's the aftermath of the trade and what's going to happen with Cody Ceci. So it's kind of up in the air. Like nobody really knows. This is not going to arbitration. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It looks like the Leafs are gonna be signing a 1-year deal for $4.5 million. Whether he sees a game in an actual Leafs jersey or not is something that we're gonna have to see. Kyle Dubas said, you were saying before we started recording, Kyle Dubas quoted on saying that he's gonna fit well with the team. Bob McKenzie saying that this is a guy that the Leafs want playing for them next season and stuff like that. But there could be an interesting scenario where the Leafs sign him for a 1-year deal, load up $4.5 million for 1 year, give him the league min salary, the rest in signing bonuses, and then dump him to a team that's looking to reach the cap floor.
Yeah,
right?
that's a very true possibility, but I honestly think that he'll be a Leaf. I don't see why they would say all this stuff and then he wouldn't play. I think that Dubas wants him to play, so we'll have to see. I think that would make a lot of sense if Dubas did that because I think that they want to keep the door open for Jake Gardiner possibly, but Nikita Zaitsev going the other way. Connor Brown was the sweetener in that trade. I'm a big fan of Connor Brown, although he had a rough year. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. I think that for what it's worth, Connor Brown's going to be a great player for Ottawa. I think that he's going to get a bigger shot to do good things there. And I wish him all the best. Same thing with Zaitsev. I do wish him all the best. I hope that he does well. But to be honest with you, I don't care that salary cap is out. The salary for them is out, and not the salary cap. Imagine no cap. The Leafs would be very much running the NHL if there was no salary cap. But I don't know. I liked the trade.
I mean, at the very least, even if Cody Ceci does end up playing for the Leafs next season, Nikita Zaitsev had 5 years left on his deal. If Cody Ceci signs a 1-year deal for the same amount of money that Zaitsev would have made this season, that slashes off 4 years off the Zaitsev deal because then Cody Ceci can just go wherever he wants next season, and it's not going to really mean much to the Leafs. It was just about clearing that Zaitsev contract off the books, and that's exactly what they did.
So, yeah, for sure. And then the big trade of the day, the big mama, the big trade at the end. Oh boy, the Leafs and Avalanche made a massive splash, and it was the Leafs giving up Nazem Kadri, Calle Rosen, and did they give up anything else in that deal? I don't think so.
I don't believe so. No.
And then they acquired Tyson Barrie, top 4 defenseman. That's very good. He's likely going to be on the top pairing with Morgan Rielly. And Kerfoot, another good player, which is going to be the third line center for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then I believe there was a pick, like a 6th round pick or something involved.
Yeah, 2026th round pick.
Yeah, so I mean the main pieces of that is Kerfoot and Barrie, Rosen, Kadri. That's the big main piece of it. But Barrie also 50% salary retained. He only has 1 year left on his contract, and Kerfoot still needs a contract. He's an RFA, and you would expect he'll get somewhere in the $4.5 million range, unless the Leafs are going to be maybe trying to get him on a 2 or 3 year deal. Maybe they'll try to see if he'll take a little bit less to have an extended contract. I don't know. Could be a possibility.
Maybe something like that. Yeah, but when you're looking at the trade from Toronto's perspective, they're getting Tyson Barrie, who's pretty much a right-handed Morgan Rielly in the sense that they both put up a lot of points. They're very good at entering the other team's zone, gaining possession, and setting up the play. They're not very good at exiting their own zone, but maybe that's something that we can talk about in who they might play with. Maybe they might not play with each other. Maybe Tyson Barrie ends up playing with Jake Muzzin because Jake Muzzin's a very good complementary player where he does a lot of things very well. He's good at entering the zone and exiting the zone. So maybe they do something like that, or Tyson Barrie just ends up playing with Morgan Riley and they go full force
Yeah.
offense. I mean, Tyson Barrie did have 59 points last season, 57 points the season beforehand. It's a huge win, and the Leafs do have Tyson Barrie and Jake Muzzin expiring at the end of this season. I don't know how far ahead we really want to look with this video, but I can't imagine the Leafs letting both of those guys walk for nothing, right? I think one of those guys gets signed to an extension.
Yeah, and I said it to you before we started this. I think it's Tyson Barrie who will end up with an extension, depending on how well he plays. But I can't see how the Leafs wouldn't want to bring in a guy like this and then not want to extend him. I think that they're definitely going to end up extending him in the end. It makes a lot of sense. Again, it all depends on if he's even happy to play in Toronto. This guy might not even want to really play here that long, so we don't know. But hey, I'm excited for the addition, but both of us are fans of Nazem Kadri. It's tough to see him go, regardless of what you said at the beginning, like with emotions and stuff. I'm sure we both have seen plenty great things that Nazem Kadri has done for the Leafs and the community. Of course, he's been very active in the community, and that guy would run through a brick wall for his teammates. He really would. So it's gonna suck to see him go for sure. And I liked Rosen as well. I thought he was a lock for the Leafs this year, but I mean, you get a chance to upgrade like that. I'm happy with this trade, even though Kadri is my favorite player. Now I can say he's my favorite non-Leaf, which is almost disgusting to say for me. But looks like the guy on my jersey right here, number 29, Willie the Kid, Willie Nylander, didn't get
Outlasted
traded today.
everybody.
He didn't get traded today, like everybody told me he was going to be. So I'm very pumped about the deal. But I'd like to hear what you have to say, maybe about Kadri or just some other thoughts on the deal.
Well, getting Tyson Berry is definitely a win because it shores up that right side. But when we're looking at Kerfoot, I think Kerfoot is the X factor in this trade here because I think the difference between Kerfoot and Kadri isn't huge. And I mean, I haven't watched a lot of Colorado Avalanche games aside from the first couple of rounds of the playoffs, and I don't think very many other Leaf fans have watched very many Colorado Avalanche games. But just from looking at his stats at a glance, this is a guy that some people are saying that they don't know whether he's going to be playing on the left wing or the center position, but he did take about 500 faceoffs last year, and he was at 56%. So he's a guy that definitely could take faceoffs if you really need him to. So he probably will slot in that third line center role. And he's a guy that scores a bit. I mean, he's decent defensively. So I mean, he's definitely a player that it's not necessarily a downgrade over Kadri. He's a different player. Maybe if that helps out a little bit. I mean, hey, the big thing over the last two seasons that cannot be ignored is the Maple Leafs played 14 playoff games, and I'm sorry to say, Nazem Kadri played in 2 of them.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is you're getting rid of a guy who's like a hit away from like a 15-20 game suspension, depending on what he does. So listen, I'm a huge fan of Kadri. I still will be, unless he does something really stupid. Then of course I can't be. But um, I'm very pumped about this trade. I don't know what else to say because this trade literally happened like an hour or two ago. I think everybody's still trying to digest all the moves the Leafs made. Like even before we started this video, we're like, are we forgetting something? Like the Leafs made so many moves today. It seems like Kyle Dubas was just on the phone like 24/7 doing things. Like it's insane. Like this guy's making big moves, and I'm proud of what Dubas has done. I think that a lot of people owe Dubas an apology. This guy just went out there like and killed it. Like he literally killed it.
So what you're trying to say is, Andrew, Kyle stepped up.
He stepped up. Step up, pal. I can't say the other stuff because this is a PG channel, and I also don't want to get demonetized. So I don't know. Do you have anything else to add? Because I think we can kind of wrap this up.
The one thing that I just want to throw in there really quickly on the end, Nazem Kadri being 28 years old, Alexander Kerfoot being 24 years old. So, I mean, and they basically had about the same season last year. Kerfoot had 42 points in 78 games, and Nazem Kadri, quick scroll, 44 points in 73 games. I mean, Naz is a back-to-back 30 goal scorer at one point in his career, but I mean, Kerfoot, I think he'll fit really well in on the third line.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, if you've got anything else to say, I don't know, but I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I think this was, I mean, I don't know how quick this video is. Every time I think it's quick, when you and I start talking about the Leafs, it's like we just keep going. So we better stop it while we can because we'll just keep going. Don't forget the Leafs Forever podcast. We'll have another episode probably within another week or very soon.
1 second, I just want to say something. Subscribe to Downtown Sports on YouTube.
Yes, do it.
The link will be in the description,
yes,
right,
it
Andrew?
will be. It will be.
Subscribe to me.
Do
this
it.
guy.
Do it. The guy.
And Andrew.
The
Subscribe
guy.
to Andrew too.
Yeah, subscribe
Click on
here.
the video.
Subscribe here, but also subscribe to Downtown Sport. You knew I was gonna put it in the description box. Let's be real here, okay? So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.